getting right here like I was recording an audiobook, being like, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 115 of Next Gen Newsweek. This right in your ear. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 115 of Next Gen Newsweek. My name is Mitch. Joining me, as always, Richard.
Yes, hello.
And Chase.
Yeah, hello.
We have a couple of announcements before we get started. Two of them are mine. One, I didn't realize because this happens about once every, I haven't actually tracked the statistic, but about once every 15 episodes, I will forget to check audio to make sure everything's working before we start going. So the first 30 seconds to a minute of last week's episode, you couldn't even hear me talk. You could hear Richard and Chase. And two, my internet decided to shit out at the very end of the episode. So it kind of just ran out and there was no actual ending. If you've been with us since the beginning, you just kind of know this is just how things go sometimes. So it's just how things are sometimes, you know? And then Richard, you had a statement you redacted into the Facebook group, but you wanted to share here for everybody too, for in case they want to know.
We were kind of wrapping up 2022 and speaking of our most anticipated titles of 2023, and I mistakenly said, is it called Tears of the Sun? What the hell is it called again? Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Sun is a Bruce Willis movie. Tears of the Kingdom, and that's incorrect. I am excited for it, but I am more excited for the Star Wars game. It's March. I believe it's coming. Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
March is a big Star Wars month. That's also the premiere of Mandalorian Season 3. So, yeah, the last little jaunt in Hyrule that I had was very lackluster. So, I'm going into this with a little trepidation because this is a sequel to that, which in my world was a bomb. So,
fair.
So, yes, I am... Because I do enjoy Star Wars more than The Legend of Zelda. I'll go ahead and say it. With the exception of Disney's sequel trilogy, which I could talk about for an hour, so I won't.
Well, if there's ever an episode where we have nothing to talk about, we know what to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I will completely trash that from multiple angles. And personally attack Mark Hamill.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to what we've been playing. And for the first time ever, I'm going to start this week just in case something happens that I can explain. I've been playing How Long Can I Go Without Coughing, which is a real game I've been playing where sometimes if I start laughing, I'll have to cough. And kind of like what I had to do a couple weeks ago. And it's not because I'm even sick. It's just a stupid cough that just won't go away. So, yeah, we'll be playing that on the show today, or at least I will be. And Inscription, because I've just been playing that, and that's all I've got for you. And if you like deck builders and scary games, go play Inscription. Richard, what have you been playing this past week?
I have been playing a Sam's Choice version of Wind Waker called Ocean Horn. I've also been playing Hades. I have been playing Fortnite. And I think that's it. I still haven't started God of War yet.
How could you?
I'm trying to get, well, here's the thing. I don't know, I got maybe 3/4 of the way done with Horizon before I stopped. And I'm kind of thinking I probably need to finish that before I start God of War. So I don't know. That's a gray area. I haven't decided. So that's why I've been playing these little smaller kind of games because I don't know which AAA title I want to sink back into. So,
well, just play Inscription after you get done with Hades. Okay.
All right.
If you need more time.
Something else I picked up, but I don't know. A little bit of Terraria because I'm the final release of the game was fairly recently, and I haven't done that stuff yet. So I've been piddling with that, but a little bit of everything, but nothing major.
Yeah. Chase, what about you?
I played this cool game called Astronaut. It's just a 1-bit black and white Metroidvania indie game that combines platforming, puzzles, action, and exploration. The game is really not easy. But after you start getting some updates, some power ups, it gets a little better. It uses like a Souls-like approach where you get currency for killing enemies, and if you die, you have to recover it or risk losing it. And then the resting of the save point resets the enemies. The bosses feel really good and challenging. Exploration feels really rewarding. Killing enemies feels really good. And overall, it's like a great game once you get to put some time into it. There are physical copies available for PS4, PS5, and Switch. It's available as well on Xbox and PC. I picked up Arkanoid Eternal Battle because I love Brick Breaker games, and I didn't really look into this before I picked it up. While there is a story mode, I feel like the main focus is on the multiplayer of the game, especially like the Battle Royale mode. I'm not really sure what happened, but I did try that Battle Royale mode twice, and just to give it a shot, and I only got matched up with AI combatants. It's a really cool concept, but I feel like every retro game doesn't need a Battle Royale mode.
No.
I feel like, the game just doesn't control well on console. Like, the paddle just doesn't move fast enough compared to, like, I play like a lot of Brick Breaker games on PC where you can use mouse and keyboard. There may be a setting to kind of change the response time, but I just didn't mess around with it much. I played Trek to Yomi, which was really, really great. Really blown away on how the game looks. It's aesthetically stylized to look like an old Japanese samurai movies. It's a lot of fixed camera angles, but it works really good in this style. And while the fighting areas are like 2 point...
Apparently Chase is struggling with the same thing I'm struggling
I'm
with.
also, it's kind of lingering. The fighting areas are like 2.5D, so it's like side scroll, but like still looks 3D. But the other areas of the game where you're not in combat, it's like more open to explore. There's tons of hidden areas, power-ups to build up your character, as well as finding like new techniques for combat. I feel like the combat could be a little better, but if you're great at parrying attacks, you'll have an advantage. The only really thing that I really didn't like about the game was the English voice actors just did not match up with like the characters that they portray. It's not a super long game. I knocked out in a few hours, but like I said, it's a beautifully made game. Really check this game out. Limited Run did a distribution of a title called Ayo the Clown, which is like a little platformer game. I'm not into clowns at all, but I do love platformers. And I feel like the story was kind of lacking, but it was a really good platformer. Lots of really cool ideas, a lot of interesting levels. Every level and every level you play, it introduced a new mechanic, a new enemy type. So everything felt really fresh. It's like the entire playthrough. Very reminiscent of the Yoshi games for like Nintendo. And like I really hope they continue on with this series and make improvements. I play this game called Lemon Cake, where you help your ghost friend restore an abandoned bakery and sell pastries and goodies to your customers. It's a local indie strategy game where you have to like balance your time with cooking, get your baked goods, as well as keeping your customers happy. I found the gameplay very addictive. I started to notice that the requirements for trophies weren't popping up correctly, and I noticed a little more that the trophies haven't popped up for anybody because like there's 0% completion on a lot of these trophies. So I reached out to the devs and see if there was a patch coming, and I got no response. And I got on Reddit and like saw that people had also tried to reach out with no response. I think the final thing you have to do in the game is like end up like once you get later and leveled up, you get to get a recipe for the lemon cake and you bake the lemon cake and I guess you beat the game. But I kind of stopped. I played I played like almost a full day out of this, and I was having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, since like I don't know. I was waiting for that email response, so I just kind of moved on. The last game I played was it's called Cuckoo's Lost Pets, which I picked up from the Maximum Game Sale over the holidays, and it's an okay 3D platformer. It looks really good, but while playing it felt really rushed. They just put it out way before play testing it. It's got some really cool ideas. You get some really neat abilities, but a lot of times like the camera is fixed at a weird angle where you can't like see what's going on. The camera clips like through objects it shouldn't. I ran into a lot of glitches while playing. But I mean, I did complete it, but it did get it was a little frustrating to play. I'm kind of glad I got it discounted because I would have felt cheated if I would have paid $30 for it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Well, maybe next week I'll be able to play more games that I can keep up. I guess I technically have been playing Pokemon Go pretty religiously, but it's kind of like one of those evergreen things, kind of like Smash, where like I just don't even include it. Like it's just a part of life. It's just But
Yeah,
I did download. So here's the thing: I downloaded a bunch of games though, because we were I take it back. I always just forget one. Because I only played it for like maybe an hour, but I did finally buy Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Played that for, I don't know, I guess I didn't talk about that last week. I don't remember. Days are weird. But I played that for about an hour or so. And then I downloaded Poppy's Playtime, which is like it's like a survival horror puzzle game. And then there's a multiplayer version of that called Project Playtime that's in early access, where it's like one person's the mechanical death robot and there's 6 people trying to like escape the toy factory. And it's kind of like Friday the 13th, if you ever played games like that before. But I haven't touched either one of them yet. I was gonna get back into streaming yesterday and I didn't do it because I'm lazy. Let's jump to what games are out this week. That's a good question though, because if no, I would be really embarrassed if we weren't. If we were supposed to be live. Out this week. What is today? Today's the 10th. Okay, so yes. Out tomorrow. Children of Silent Town coming out on everything, which I kind of did a little bit of research into it because with a name like that, you can't just like not tell me like to go look it up.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
It's like a scary puzzle game that's coming out on everything. Probably gonna pick that up. I'm getting more into indie games. Y'all should be proud of me.
Proud.
Yeah, yes.
There's a game called Kart Rider Drift that's coming out only on PC, iOS, and Android, which that sucks. Lone Ruin coming out on Thursday for Switch and PC. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider, what a name, for PlayStation, Switch, and PC on the 12th also. The PS5 Xbox Series version of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot comes out on Friday, along with One Piece Odyssey, which is another anime game coming out everywhere except for Switch on Friday. We're not quite to the major release yet, which I think at the end of this month, we've got Forspoken, Dead Space, and Fire Emblem coming up. So, and once it starts, that train is not going to slow down. So, hope your wallets are ready.
I just got a text from Xfinity saying that they're having some service issues. So hopefully I don't disappear.
Oh my God!
But you know how we go.
Yep. Usually it's me though, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So, all right. Our first news story, and it feels like we never catch this on time because I always find out about it like a day or two after it started. But Awesome Games Done Quick is back. They're a speedrunning fundraiser for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. People just live streaming and trying to speedrun games as fast as they can. I pulled up the list because I wanted to see what they were currently playing while we were recording this. And they are playing Astral Chain, which is a Switch game that I never got around to playing.
I still haven't played that. I've heard it's really good.
They apparently are doing it with any % no abilities, and they're going to beat it in 2 hours and 40 minutes, they says. I'm not going to... Usually when this pops up, I'll go through and like pick things out of this list. I'm not really going to do that this time. I just want to make sure that if that's something that you're interested in, they're streaming all the way up till like next Sunday on Twitch, and then they're putting like the VODs on YouTube like the day later. There will be a link in the description of this video if you want to donate, and they'll read your name out on the live stream if that's something that you care about. Oh, they are going to do Poppy's Playtime Chapter 2 tonight. That's cool.
And they do streams year round. They upload content almost daily. So if you ever follow their YouTube, they're doing just like a lot of weird category stuff, speed runs. And I found like a lot of those very, very interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, I love them, especially the Zelda ones. I haven't watched all of it yet because I was trying to watch it at work, and in the stream itself they had a technical issues. So it's not just us that has technical issues. It's these big major, live streams and videos and everything. So yeah, I can't be too upset about my farmland internet getting messed up or whatever. But they've gotten the speed run time for Breath of the Wild down to 28 minutes to beat that game.
Wow.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think I said I wasn't going to look through here, but there was one of them that did catch my eye because it was Zelda related. They're going to beat Ocarina of Time 3D in 35 minutes. So that's one that I want to watch for sure. But let's jump to what's the rest of the news. Probably one of the biggest headlines going into this year. The PlayStation 5 not only has sold 30 million units so far, but according to Sony, the console shortage is officially over, which is big round of applause. And only took 3 years to do that, or going on 3 years to get for supply and demand to meet up. Chase, since you still work in retail, are you able to confirm that PlayStations are starting to show up on shelves still?
If you would have asked me before Christmas, yes. If you would ask me this week, no, because we have not had any this week. But there are some that should be here within the week, though.
Nice. Also,
I think now I heard that a portion of what the stores receive are kind of set to the side for online purchases only.
There was that, but I think that's done.
Okay, that was just a Christmas thing.
So yeah, it was happening. That was happening around Christmas.
Gotcha.
But now it's basically like if they come in, they can just go straight to the shelf.
Gotcha.
So,
which I guess that means that people aren't getting mugged in the parking lot over them anymore, or stolen out of their cars.
I've heard that can happen.
Yeah, sad day. We were talking a few weeks ago about how if you wanted to play Horizon Call of the Mountain, it's like the most expensive game ever because you have to buy a $500 console, a $600 VR headset, and the $60 game or whatever. And for me, there's already an extra $500 that's layered on top of that. So because I've had to buy 2 PlayStations. So, what a horrible event. I still can't decide if I want to buy a PSVR 2 yet. But anyway, if you are someone who's looking for a PS5, you should hopefully have a better time coming across one of those in the coming weeks and or months for retail cost and not, astronomical amounts of money that some people are willing to pay.
It's also weird because because customers still come in and they're like, how much are they? And I tell them the retail price, and they're like, I thought they were $800, and because that's the price that they usually see online or, through third-party sellers. So
then the same people who come in and buy Steam cards for someone in another country.
True.
Can't confirm. For the record, while we're on the quick subject, don't ever buy Steam cards for somebody who lives in another country. Don't. If someone's trying to blackmail you into buying Steam cards, just don't do it.
That's definitely a scam.
Yeah. We got a new. So this was like the CES week. So there was a lot of new hardware technology getting announced. A lot of stuff we don't really talk about much on here. Like HTC's got like a new VR headset, and LG's got some new 96-inch TV that like doesn't require a wall mount. It just kind of sticks to your wall. It's kind of cool.
I saw that. It's kind of cool.
Some of that stuff does creep into like the more gaming stuff. It ain't in the notes. We have talked about it before. Razer and Verizon have teamed up for some like 5G handheld that's coming out at the end of this month. You can add it to your Verizon plan and pay for it monthly like you do for a phone if you want to. But one of the big ones that I don't know if it was actually at CES, but it just came out right at that CES time. And it's that this company Nixie is making a new GameCube controller for the Switch. And it's not just like It looks like a Wavebird. That's the big thing, but it can detach and turn into Joy-Cons for your Switch. And there's a lot of interesting stuff here because there's a lot of new buzzwords that have been going around as far as like controllers go. The big one right now is the Hall effect joysticks, which is the solution to joystick drift. Because like, we hear all the time about like the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons have like really bad drift. It isn't as well, publicized, but the PS5 controller has stick drift also. Not as common though. The Xbox controllers have it, but Hall effect joysticks are supposedly the way that you fix that, because instead of like the joystick rubbing up against the side of like the little ring around it, it uses magnets to register where the stick is supposed to be without it actually having to press up against it, which is supposed to get rid of the stick drift. And this is, I know Michael had shared another GameCube controller before that was just Joy-Cons, that, they didn't have like their own internal battery or anything like that, and they had to be just on the Switch constantly, and they had those Hall effect joysticks, but this is like an actual thing where you can use it like a standard controller. It's got extra buttons on the back of it if you want it. Analog triggers, which you can also use this on PC. So if you wanted to play like a racing game with analog triggers, you could technically use this GameCube controller for it. And it is $70 though, which is the only downside to this controller. But if you think about it, a Switch Pro controller is $60 if you catch them at retail. So, I mean, if you are a fan of like the GameCube layout, it's only $10 more than what you would normally be paying. The only thing I do see in here that kind of sucks, which I mean, whatever, is that it only gets about 6.5 hours of battery life, which Joy-Cons can get about 20. The Switch Pro controller can get 40. So you will be charging this thing a lot more than just a regular controller. But I might buy one. Is any one of you thinking about buying it? Or would you be interested in buying one, maybe even if they were just cheaper?
Yeah.
Probably not.
You don't want you a GameCube controller?
No.
It looks cool.
They did announce that new PlayStation controller too.
They did. That thing that looks like a Simon Says.
Yeah. That would look really cool.
Yeah, there's a PlayStation accessibility controller. And, I'm all for accessibility, but it is just very Sony-like to go and copy other people and doing things, especially with controllers. Mm-hmm. So, I've seen, this is like the third time that they've copied someone else who already beat them to the punch.
Somebody else already made a Simon Says controller?
They made an Xbox has had an accessibility controller for like
with the little
4 or 5 years now.
I don't follow Xbox.
And let's see that
it looks a lot. It does look a lot.
They look a lot different. It's not like a 1-to-1 comparison, but it's like the PlayStation Move controllers. Have, even though they were different from a Wii remote, it was trying to make their own Wii.
Yeah.
In VR, I don't really count that one. There was another one I was thinking of the other day, though, but it was like, it's very similar. But anyway, this controller, I don't believe it has a release date yet, but it will, I'm sure it'll be.
Or price.
It got, oh, wait, you're talking about that. Yeah, I forgot we just talked about that. I had the Nixie controller pulled up. If it's anything like that accessibility controller from Xbox, it would probably be anywhere from about $100 to $130. Mm-hmm. But the Xbox one's really cool. I've actually seen videos of it because it's, it's got the two big circles on the top, which you can program to be any button you want. But on the back of it, it's just got a bunch of like 3.5-inch jacks on it that they make specific controllers that you just plug into it. And it's got like the back of it just has like A, B, X, Y, start, whatever. And I think it's got like 2 of each on the back. It's got a ton of jacks on the back of it. And then they make different like sensory controllers that you can just plug in. And I imagine, I haven't really looked too much at that PlayStation one, but if it functions pretty much the same, you probably could just keep all your existing stuff. And then you just, oh yeah, I want to play PlayStation today, you just plug everything into the PlayStation one instead of the Xbox one. That way you can just do that stuff. And people are impressive with that stuff. Like if you like ask me like, hey, can you play like the way that some of these people do? I'm like, no, I can't. And like they go, or like they're incredible seeing like people play like first person shooters with like part of a controller that like is in their mouth and like, you know, just their feet and stuff like that. Like that lady, well, it's not an accessibility thing, but they're like, think about that, like that woman who was playing Elden Ring twice at the same time, once with a controller and the other one using a DDR pad. I can't even imagine the coordination required to do that. And that's not an accessibility thing. That's just impressive. And I mean, people who you have to use those accessibility controllers are incredible to me, because I don't think I could do it.
Oh yeah, you see those artists that can draw like 4 pictures at one time with like their feet and their hands, and they're just impeccable. So,
I remember
I don't know.
Like,
that's
they ain't an ounce of talent in either one of these feet. Like I remember watching like America's Got Talent, and this girl like bent upside down and drew a bow back with her feet and shot a bullseye, and I was like, how in the world?
I can pick stuff up with my feet.
I mean, I could do that. Like if I drop something on the ground, I'm like, I could bend over, or I could just just pick it up with my toes.
Exactly. I can throw pretty well too with my feet. Never tried it.
Kinky.
Look, after the podcast is over, Mitch is gonna start throwing stuff.
I'm gonna start putting playing cards between my toes and throwing them. No, I ain't doing none of that. Anyway, getting away from feet.
That's the Meech Flow OnlyFans. So.
Twitch.tv/MeechFlow V3. We're not playing games over there anymore. It's just
Meech feet.
Yeah.
Meech feet. Meech feet.
Y'all ain't right. Okay. And we're gonna talk about. We have 1 or 2 more topics to talk about. My phone is getting blown up right now. I keep like my desk is like vibrating from the amount of notifications I'm getting. 2 more things to talk about. 1, Deathverse. Richard talked about it last week as his most like biggest disappointment.
Called it.
Biggest disappointment of last year. The devs over at Super Trick Games and Gung Ho Online Entertainment must have listened to last week's show. Because they've decided to cancel and shut down Deathverse Let It Die after only being out for 3 months. And they're going to re-release the game at some point. So Richard may have gotten his wish.
Yeah, it was a double whammy. I know I talked about it last week, so I'm not going to spend too much time. But I think there was 2 nails in the coffin. One of them was that they made a game that's already out there. And I spoke about it in the group chat. I compared it to Smash Bros. With their clones. You know, the only thing that really Multiverse has going for it is just a unique roster. But even that is something that Nintendo has already done with Smash. Or, you know, you've got Minecraft characters, you've got Capcom characters, you know, you got Nintendo. So there's really nothing new there. And you see a number of these Smash clones that come out there, and they just, I don't know, they don't perform. So essentially, this idea that they pitched, there was no one in that conference room that was like, "Oh, it's Fortnite," and they didn't just can it then, because you know they basically made Fortnite and they didn't make it well. And then the other coffin nail, and I've seen this before. It happened to, I don't know if I've talked about it during the podcast, but people that know me, they know I really like the Overlord franchise, which is essentially, I was talking about like people not doing things well, but it almost doesn't translate to single player. But Overlord's essentially Pikmin, where, you know, instead of little cute plant things, you have these little gremlins that are kind of color coded by power. It's essentially Pikmin. But that series was great, and it played like Pikmin until the last installment, and they, for whatever reason, decided to say, well, now we want to do Diablo. You got to give people what they want, because if you don't, and it's not what they used to, and it's not what they expect, then it's going to fail. And I think one of the problems is that the last Overlord failed, and they have no interest in going back to it. It's not that the game failed, it's they failed their audience. So Let It Die is nothing like Death Verse. So yeah, they got hit with two sides there. They made a game that was already out there and popular, and then they also made a game that was not a sequel to the game they had made. So yeah, they should redevelop and re-release and get swatted on the hand like toddlers for even thinking of doing something different.
Dare
I mean,
you?
how dare they? I mean, come on. But the proof is in the headline. So, yep.
So, you know what's interesting is that they announced that they were shutting down the game 3 months after launch, but they're not actually shutting it down till July 18th at 1900. What is it? 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is a really weird time to shut the game down, but whatever. But
you also can't make in-game purchases after February the 7th.
Well, also according to this article, the all-time concurrent high PC player count was 1,000.
Barely above 1,000. You want to know why? Because they were playing Fortnite. That's why. That's their audience.
That sucks. But
I don't know how you could do it. I would like to see a number of how many people who were really hardcore or not even hardcore, just interested and actively played Let It Die that did not make the jump over to this. I would like to see that number. I can't be the only one.
I was gonna go look at reviews for Death Verse, and I pulled Steam back up, and it picked me up where I left off with Sex Chess.
So you got to see the helicopter again.
Before we started recording, I was telling a story, and I'll just tell it here too. Alex, good friend of the show, my best friend, he asked me if I want to play games the other day, and I said, yeah. And I was like, what games do you want to play? He said, I want to play chess. And so I go on Steam, I just type in the word chess, and the first thing that pops up is Sex Chess. And just very graphic game. But anytime a sex game pops up on Steam or anything, this is what I do. I recommend doing it too because it's always really funny. Go to the reviews and look for the really long-winded paragraph that usually has no punctuation in it, talking about how this is the best game of all time. Because it's usually those are the funniest short stories you'll ever read. But just know that this is if you decide to do that as a very not safe for work thing, don't do that with anyone you don't want to see that because it's very graphic. But anyway, Death Verse. So I just wanted to see what the reviews say. If the review but most of it's just it's not fun. Can't find a match. It's not Let It Die 2. One of the most unique games I played in the battle royale genre. A shame that it's being shut down soon.
So he's never played Fortnite or any of the other ones.
Wouldn't recommend. Community on the Discord is toxic and overall had a bad experience with the ranked altogether. That it was being straight out targeted match after match until the developers and community manager fixed their community up and provided much needed cleanup on the leaderboards filled with bot match fixings.
Yeah, because here's the thing. So one of the similarities between Let It Die and Death Verse is that you can get upgrade materials to upgrade the weaponry that you take into the match with you. So if you don't somehow balance that out, then, if you're getting put onto a map with someone that plays I don't know why they play this 8 hours a day, but if somebody plays that 8 hours a day and has these colossal weapons, it doesn't matter how good your reflexes and reaction are. They're going to just demolish you.
Mm-hmm. Last review. The game is super fun. It's like the essence of Dark Souls PvP with extra quirkiness.
Wow.
Facial reaction.
Yeah, that's why I had to read it.
What Whatever. And that's
it was like you just smelled rotten eggs for the first time, like the face you just made.
You know, like this is why I don't talk to people at GameStop. I go in there and I get my stuff and I leave. I don't want to have a conversation because I guarantee you they're going to say something that I think is stupid.
Damn. All right, and go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of getting ended support, the original MetaQuest will be ending its support this year. This is the last Horizon Home social features will end access on March 5th, and they will support the system software with bug fixes up until 2024.
Yeah, they have to stop using that one because they didn't put the data where Facebook can scan your eyeballs in the first headset, so they can't steal user data through it.
Yeah.
Just my hot take, but whatever. And our last news, this is actually kind of old now that I actually did a little bit of research into it. But also we took 3 weeks off, so anything in the past month is still kind of new. But, yeah, anyway. I came across this 30-minute video, and it was showcasing Hogwarts Legacy gameplay. And up until this point, I've done really good about not looking at much about this game because I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I I don't want to be spoiled on anything. But this was supposedly just to show up all the gameplay elements without showing the story or anything about what goes on. And I linked it for you guys to watch if you wanted to check it out, if you hadn't checked it out either. If Zelda was not coming out this year, this would be my most anticipated game. This game looks fantastic. I know that the video technically is it says if you can support it, it supports up to an 8K video on this particular YouTube thing, but I'm watching it in just 1080p, and this looks amazing. I didn't know anything about how you could switch between riding the broom, or you could have the animals you can ride on, and they're in your fucking briefcase, so you don't have to go do all this weird stuff about getting them. The combat looks super fun. And I was watching how the resource management stuff with the combat works, especially with the dark arts, and because there was then he was out in the Forbidden Forest and doing dark wizard magic, and he was literally one-shotting bosses with Avada Kedavra. It was really cool. But I don't know if either of you guys have watched this or if you've just seen any other gameplay for Hogwarts Legacy, if you're trying to not have any kind of surprises or anything shown to you in advance. But yeah,
I think I've seen enough gameplay where I know that I'm definitely playing it. I'm excited for it. Don't really want to spoil myself too much. So
I watched the entire video.
What'd you think?
Screw the Legend of Zelda, man. That's I'm gonna have to disagree with that, dude. It's all I don't have to see anything else. This is better. It just is, man. And I can say this, and I'm not spoiling it for anybody that wants to, but if you really wanted to just be submersed in and feel like you're a part of that world, this game is it.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I mean, the customization elements alone, you make your own part of the whole Hogwarts thing.
Mm-hmm. It's got a whole world building thing built into it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous the level of personalization that goes into it with who you now. Granted, and maybe it's just this particular demo. You kind of look a little old to be a Hogwarts student, but which I guess don't. Now again, I don't know. Well, I don't think this would be spoiler. Didn't they already say that you're a transfer student or something, that you don't start out your first year, so you are a little bit older anyway? But wow, it looks gorgeous. My gosh.
Yeah, I've had the video playing in the side over here, and he pulls out the hippogriff out of the briefcase, and I was like, holy shit. I didn't think he could do that. But
yeah, there's so much to it. Even the last word, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but towards the end of that video, I'm talking about where it talks about your your abode where you live. Wow, man, that's just fantastic. I can't. That's day one. That is so day one.
I think this is gonna be a knock out of the park, like 10 out of 10 game, unless there's just because I mean usually with these big AAA games, like if they don't show them off like in advance, you know, or they're not confident enough to show off a 30-minute gameplay demo, there's probably something that they're hiding that they don't want you to see, where it's like it's going to release kind of buggy. And I mean, this game could still have bugs in it too, but like with them being confident enough to do these 30-minute showcases and stuff like that, I think they really utilize that delay that they took from last year, and this is going to be one of the best games released in 2023. And if you thought that we were out of stuff to talk about, we're not.
You're right. No.
I am bringing back a segment from years past, because I was going to do 20 questions, but Michael couldn't be here today, and I was just like, well, we'll just wait. So it's everyone's favorite recurring segment, Tales from the Hard Drive.
All right. Okay.
If you have never listened to us play Tales of the Hard Drive before, it's where in this case, I have 4 articles from harddrive.net, which is a satire news website for gaming news, or just news in general. And there is 1 real article in here from any kind of gaming news outlet. And Richard and Chase have to deduce which of these articles is real and which one of these is fake. And I think in the past you guys mostly have gotten this right, but I think there's been a couple times you've been stumped with these. So, let the nonsense begin. Your first headline is: Riot Games recommends new employees play League of Legends to prepare for toxic work environment. Article 2. New Overwatch 2 patch buffs Moira's P charge. Article 3. Man drowns during 4D screening of Avatar 2. I love these. Elon Musk forced to lay off 50% of monkey workforce he planned on murdering. Confused Elon Musk accidentally kills female employee and impregnates monkey.
Those are 2 separate articles.
That's why there's 4.
Busy guy.
That's why there was 4. They were just right next to each other. Him like killing his monkey workforce, and then he impregnates a monkey. He's like, I gotta put a book. I couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, hopefully I didn't give you any hints. Anyway, that's all the articles. So whatever you guys think.
And one's real, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would never give you 5 fake articles.
I think the Avatar is real.
I could see that being real. Yeah.
Is that what you're going with, or do you think it's a different one?
What was the second one you said?
New Overwatch 2 patch buffs Moira's P charge.
Man,
I
that
guess
could be real too.
It could be real too. I'm go with Avatar.
Richard, you sticking with Avatar?
I'm sticking with Avatar.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and knock off the first 2. Elon Musk forced to lay off 50% of his monkey workforce that he planned on murdering. Quote, it's such a damn shame. When I laid off 75% of the Twitter employees, I thought that was based because they were cringe leftists seized by the woke mind virus. But the monkeys were so epic. I was really looking forward to torturing them to death. So it's definitely the saddest of my financial troubles. Their lives would have been lost to science, but also they would have been lost to fun. but now they have to go back to the zoo wherever they came from. It's just so sad. And confused Elon Musk accidentally kills female employee and impregnates monkey. That's obviously fake. Your next fake article: Riot Games recommends new employees play League of Legends to prepare for a toxic work environment.
Which does sound true.
And the last fake article, moment of silence. Man drowns during 4D screening of Avatar 2.
Oh, no.
Quote, we pride ourselves on creating a fun, interactive experience, said Lewis Moody, owner of Moody's Roadside 4D Cinema, Bowling Alley and Rifle Range. This is the first... This is the first time we've had a death here in 40 years of fourth dimensional entertainment. Though we did see a lot of injuries when we showed that Volcano movie that had Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche in it. Lots of burns. James Cameron commented on the tragedy. Am I a happy man? Am I happy a man died watching the movie? Of course not. All death is an affront to Iwa the mother tree, said Cameron from the set of Avatar 3 or 4. He wasn't sure which. But does this prove we've created a truly immersive version of Pandora that could kill a human being? You bet your ass it does. That's what Avatar is about. These movies will fucking kill you. So yeah, the real article was new Overwatch 2 patch buffs Moira's P charge. Which if you were an Overwatch player, all it means is that the healer who never heals and only does damage now does more damage and less heals or something. I don't know. Fuck Moira. That's the real takeaway here. But thank you for playing Tales of the Hard Drive. I'll have to start working on building up a stack of fake news articles again. But anyway, that is all I've got for this week. Do you guys have anything you would like to plug before we get out of here?
I might do a video.
Oh,
it might be coming. It sounds like I think we decided on the name last night. I really enjoy it. It almost sounds like one of those old like radio disc jockeys, like the Sunday, like Casey Kasem's Top 40. I really like Dick Retro Plays the Classics. Sounds like something on like public radio on Sunday nights or something like that.
That sounds like a GTA radio station.
Dick Retro Plays the Classics. So yeah, I think I might. I don't know how often I'm gonna do it. It's not like, hey, I'm doing this every week. I may do it occasionally just to put it out there. If there's something that comes up, like there's. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. Just wait. I'll do this first video for sure. And if I get a good enough response, I might do some more.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, awesome.
If you need me to make you some vaporwave backgrounds or anything, go the full 80s aesthetic.
Something I don't know if I'll have it out this week. I might. I very might. So just watch our Facebook. And then I don't know. I'm assuming I'm an old man, so social media is lost on me. Do we have an Instagram for Next Gen Newsweek and all that stuff?
We do, but it never gets updated.
Okay, all right. Well, just watch our Facebook then. It'll get posted there. Yeah, Dick Retro Plays.
That's the best place to find anything new from us is Facebook. I've kind of shied away from Twitter also because things just get lost in a cesspool. Yeah. Ever since Elon laid off his monkey workforce or killed him.
We should have got verified. Because that's hard to do.
Yeah. Chase, anything to plug this week?
I think there's some New Year's start of the year sales lingering, but yeah, other than that, I haven't really seen much going on.
All right. Well, I kind of brought it up earlier, but if you haven't been following my escapade with Twitch, I've been locked out of my Twitch account as soon as I hit affiliate status, which sucks. And I got tired of fighting with it, so I just decided to make a new Twitch. I haven't streamed or anything on it yet, but I got the channel in my name so that way I can start doing that again. Probably going to start playing some scary games or something like Poppy Playtime, something like that in the next couple days. That's pretty much all I've got. So that'll do it for episode 115 of Next Gen Newsweek. We'll be back in your ears next. What day is this show going up? I don't know. We'll be back in your ears next week. I have to figure out what I don't even know what day it is right now. I haven't had this is my first day off in like a week. So anyway, we'll be back soon. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye.